A lot of you have asked me to make a video about Amazon ads, and I've never made a video about ads because I think that I'm not an expert on ads and I'm still learning about ads myself, but I can make a video about how I run my ads and hopefully that might help some of you. Hello home bosses, my name is Nouri Yacobi from thehomeboss.com. Welcome to my channel, which is all about helping you to make money online. And if that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell so that you can get more videos like this. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about my ad strategy. And this is not a strategy for everyone. I just want to make it clear that I'm not an expert on Amazon ads and I'm still learning, and I can tell you about what I do for my ads, but this is in no way an ad strategy for everyone to follow. It's just how I run my ads and hopefully you can learn something from that. It's what's currently working for me, but it's something that I'm still changing and adjusting as I learn more. Running ads on Amazon is a little bit of a gamble sometimes, so I would say only run them if you have a budget for your ads. If you're short of money, you won't be making the best decisions for your ads because you're concentrating on not losing money rather than concentrating on how you're going to make sales with those ads. That's something that happened to me. I was very focused on not losing money, and that wasn't really the right mindset to go into ads. So I would recommend that you run them once you feel comfortable about spending some money without expecting too much in return. So I started making low content books in November 2019 and I didn't run any ads to begin with. I then tried ads in around February or March, and because I really didn't know what I was doing, I let them run a few days and I saw the ad spend getting higher and higher, so I stopped the ads and decided to learn more about them. During that time I didn't sell any books through the ads and it all seemed very complicated. Those were all automatic ads. And then I started to learn more about ads from YouTube videos and from courses that I bought. And I was still feeling that I really didn't understand how to run ads effectively. In November 2020, I then decided to run ads more seriously. The reason was that it was Q4, just before the Christmas rush, and I thought this would be a really good time to try because there was more buying activity on Amazon. I decided that I was going to treat this as an experiment and I was prepared to risk some money. If you're running this as a business, there are so few expenses involved that I feel I can justify spending a good amount on ads at least. So my mindset changed in that I was prepared to lose money to learn. So I thought of concentrating on the books that were selling well for me because I thought they might have the best chance of selling. I chose only 4 books and ran 3 ad sets for each of them: automatic ads, manual ads, and product ads. I selected a minimum ad spend of $5 each, a daily ad spend of $5 each. At the beginning I chose $3, but because it was Q4, it was worth raising that amount. And I chose the bid at around half the recommended spend. Another tip is if you're thinking of spending 20 cents, make it 23 cents. Most people will spend in increments of 10 or 5, so they will spend 10, 20, 30 cents, or maybe 15, 25, 35. So I like to pick a number in between to win the bid over the ones that go in increments of 10. So anybody that sort of bids 10 or 20 will be kicked out if I bid 13 or 23. I also placed my ads mainly in the UK market. I tried the US and I found I didn't get many impressions or clicks and hardly any sales. So it turned out to be more expensive for me to run ads in the US market, whereas the UK market seemed easier. And that's probably because my books were selling more in the UK organically. After I place my ads, it's time to wait. I know some people say don't check your ads every day, but I check my ads all the time. I want to stay informed and I want to monitor my ads. And I like to jump in when I see that something is not working well. I found that my automatic ads were not performing as well as my manual ads and my product ads. However, now that I've run ads for a few months, I find that really this depends on each book. Some of my books perform better on automatic and some on manual. So that is why I keep running 3 ad types on my books to find out which one works better. And I still continue to run 3 types of ads for the books that I choose to advertise. So I always run an automatic, a manual, and a product ad. And once I feel that one of them doesn't perform, I switch it off. But I take note of any keywords that I might be able to use. I also don't use as many keywords compared to what I've seen advised on other YouTube channels. Some people are saying to use hundreds of keywords, and I think that helps in determining which ones will work. But I found that if I keep my keywords relevant, it seems to work better for me. So I tend to have less keywords, but they are more focused on the product. So I get rid of any irrelevant keywords, or I don't use them in the first place. So during Q4, I was getting quite a few sales, and my daily budget of $5 was usually spent before midday. And what I did then was to increase it to $10. And when that ran out, I increased it again. So I was checking my ads quite a few times a day and increasing the ad spend whenever it ran out. That way I was able to monitor each ad. And the curious thing was that some ads would perform really well one day and not well the next day. And then the automatic ad would take over. The next day, the manual one would take over. So it was strange to see that kind of pattern, and I have no way of explaining it. But it helped that I kept monitoring the ads. So it was a good idea to check every day several times. And I was just tweaking the ads as I went along. So when one spend was running out, I used to check if I was making sales on that ad. And if I had made sales, then I used to increase the spend before the day was out. So I based my decision to increase the ad spend on how many sales I was getting that particular day. If I was selling a lot, then I increased the ad spend for that day because I felt I could justify it. So in December 2020, my ad spend was £834 and my overall income was over $9,000, $9,440. So I'm happy with my ads result, and I have to overcome my fear of spending too much or of losing money on ads. It's never really losing money. It's not lost money. It's money spent for information on keywords. And you learn a lot about customer behavior from running your ads. And in business, that kind of knowledge is valuable. So making sales is really a bonus. So certain numbers to look out for when you're running ads is your impressions, your CTR, your clicks, and also your ACOS. Impressions are how many times people have seen your ad. Clicks are what Amazon charges you for, and how many times somebody has clicked on your ad. And the CTR is the ratio of how often a buyer clicks on your book in relation to how many have seen your book. So the higher the CTR, the better. The ACOS is another important number to focus on. It stands for advertising cost of sale. So it's the amount spent divided by the number of sales. There is a really good free calculator on the Self-Publishing Titans website. I will include a link under this video, and you can calculate your ACOS by entering your interior type, the number of pages, the Amazon distribution channel, and the list price. The result will give you your royalties, your expanded distribution royalties, your minimum list price, and the printing cost. All very important numbers to know for your business. And more importantly, it will give you your break-even ACOS for ads so that you can know if you're making money, breaking even, or losing money on your ads. When I first started running ads, I think the mistake I made was to focus too much on what I was spending and especially what I was losing, because to me it was losing money. It's really hard psychologically to run adverts when you're not seeing any benefits of running those adverts. All I was seeing was money being spent on something that wasn't really creating any more money for me. And the reality is that when you're running ads on Amazon, you need to be prepared to spend money and to lose money at the beginning, because it's the only way that works. And Amazon ads is really all about experimenting and trying different things that work for you. I don't believe that there is one strategy that works for everybody, because every book is different, every marketplace is different, and I don't think there is one strategy that can work for everybody. You have to experiment with your own books. You have to try things out, and you have to be prepared at the beginning to lose some money. So that's why I recommend that you don't run ads when you're still trying to make money. Run your KDP business organically to begin with. Of course, you can spend money on ads if you have the budget to do that. That is fantastic. That's the best way to do it. If you are running this as a business and you're prepared to invest some money in it first to run ads, that is the best way. But if you're trying to make some money first and then reinvest that money in your business, then that will give you a little bit more peace of mind, and you have to be prepared to invest some money without expecting too much in return at the beginning, and that's how you learn. And the curious thing I also found was that when I was running an ad, sometimes I wasn't really getting any sales from that ad, but I was getting sales organically for some reason. I can't work that one out. I don't understand why that happens. All I know is it happens. And that's why sometimes running ads is profitable even if you're not really selling from those ads. If you're running an ad and you're not getting sales from that ad, but the book is selling organically and your BSR is getting better, then I think maybe it's worth running that ad even if you're not getting the sales from the ad, but you're getting sales organically by running the ad. I don't understand how that works. All I know is it does. And I've got some books, not every book, but I've got some books where if I stop the ad, suddenly my organic sales stop as well. So it's worth running for that reason. So the mistakes that people can make at the beginning when they're running ads is to concentrate too much on how much they're spending. Don't think of it as losing money. Think of it as investing money into gaining information on your product. And also some people, I think, let their ads run for too long without tweaking the ad, without adjusting the ad. So you have to look at your keywords, and if you find that some keywords are taking too many of the clicks and they're not producing any sales, then I would maybe add those keywords to the negative keywords so that those keywords don't add to your spend and you're not losing money from them. You want to optimize your ads so that the keywords that people are clicking on are profitable for you and are getting you sales. So the most important thing is to remember that you need to have a good budget for your ads, because if you feel comfortable spending on your ads, then you're not so much concentrating on the spend, how much you're spending, how much you can lose, and you're concentrating basically on how to optimize your ads. And if you have the budget, it's easier psychologically to concentrate on that rather than how much money you are losing on ads. And the other thing is to keep adjusting your ads so that your keywords are profitable for you. So I hope that this has given you a little bit of an insight. Like I said, I'm not an expert on ads and I'm still learning, but if I learn anything useful for me, I will share it with you. So hopefully it will help somebody. But like I said, I don't think there is a strategy that fits everybody. Every book is different. Every marketplace is different. So just experiment with your ads and see what you can find out for your own books. If you would like me to make more videos like this, and if you would like me to make a video on how to actually place your ads, how to run them, and maybe do a tutorial on how to do that, let me know in the comments. I'm very happy to do that for you. And I'll see you again in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.